Are you ready to dive into the world of mysterious contacts? Aliens standing 10 feet tall were caught on camera at Miami Mall. And after collecting samples of human tissue, the aliens released a couple returning from their honeymoon. Finally, I'll tell you about how a UN official became a witness to a humanoid abduction. These and other stories of contact with extraterrestrial beings are in my video. What happens when a typical day of teenage mischief at the Miami shopping center collides with the world of memes? An unexpected mix of chaos and creativity leads to an internet explosion. The incident at the Miami shopping center, initially thought to be a teenage altercation, took an intergalactic dimension. Many immediately hoped that aliens would appreciate our young talents in the art of fighting. But what really happened? On the eve of the new year 2024, a group of teenagers plunged the Miami shopping center into chaos. They instigated fights, set off fireworks, and frightened shop customers. The police reaction was swift and harsh. Law enforcement quickly took control of the situation, resulting in the arrest of 4 individuals involved in the incident. However, what caught the internet's attention was not the teenage brawl, but a blurry overhead image circulating online, showing a tall, slender gray figure next to police patrol cars. Some viewers, analyzing the available footage of the Miami incident, put forward the astonishing hypothesis of the involvement of a paranormal entity as a real catalyst for the disturbances. A video of the incident was published, showing a group of 10-foot-tall aliens shooting both indoors and outdoors of the Miami Mall. In the low-quality footage, a tall, glowing figure near the police cars is visible. The post garnered over 100,000 views, underscoring the significant impact of this theory on curious viewers. News of a presumed encounter with aliens spread across the internet. The meme riot spread to platforms like X. Users concocted everything they saw, from extraterrestrial claims to squabbles between alleged aliens and police officers. The police confirmed they were there to disperse a large brawl involving a group of around 50 teenagers, resulting in arrests. The internet frenzy following the incident at the Miami shopping center testifies to users' boundless creative potential. In their hands, an unusual moment becomes an opportunity for laughter, absurdity, and general entertainment. As the saga continues, one thing is clear. The internet's ability to turn the unusual into a spectacle knows no bounds. And this whole story would have been a mundane incident, if not for one thing. To stop the fight between 50 teenagers, more than 60 police cars arrived. The question remains, why and what was really there? This still remains a mystery, possibly even extraterrestrial, of which there were many. And here's one of them. The thought of being pursued flashed through the minds of Betty and Barney Hill as they drove along a deserted, winding country road. It was a September night in 1961, and they hadn't seen a single car for many miles, but a strange light in the sky seemed to be following them. Later, this incident would become the first widely publicized tale of alien abduction in history and would influence how such stories were told and understood. Barney and Betty were driving home from a vacation at Niagara Falls. After 16 months of married life, the couple viewed this trip as their delayed honeymoon, and then they noticed the light in the sky, which was getting closer and closer. At first, it resembled a shooting star, but with each mile, it became larger and brighter. Barney, a World War II veteran, was sure there was nothing to worry about. He assured Betty it was just a satellite, but things didn't go as planned. The couple stopped at rest stops and picnic spots to get a closer look at the lights. Through binoculars, Betty saw that the white light was actually an object spinning in the air. Eventually, it approached in the form of a huge figure hovering over their car. In horror, the couple drove away. However, throughout the journey, they heard a buzzing noise. And when they finally managed to get home at dawn, they discovered that a 4-hour journey had taken 7 turns of the big hand on the clock. Their clothes were torn in strange places. Betty found mysterious pink powder on her dress. Then, she began to have nightmares in which samples of her skin were taken and a needle was inserted into her navel. They had to consult a doctor, a specialist in psychiatry and neurology, who also specialized in hypnosis, a popular technique at the time. Over several months of weekly sessions, the doctor helped the couple piece together what they believed had happened. In a hypnotic state, they recalled that a spacecraft had landed on their car, and then they were put to sleep. After that, gray beings led them up a long ramp into the ship, where, after taking samples of human tissue, they were released. Under hypnosis, they remembered having strands of hair plucked, nails trimmed, and skin scratched. Each sample was placed on a transparent material, hardly different from glass. Betty was checked for pregnancy with an injection into her navel, and the aliens were very intrigued by her husband's dentures. Later, the woman also drew a star map that she said was shown to her by aliens. The couple was respected in their community. No one had reason to believe they were lying. Then, Betty became a well-known researcher of UFOs and claimed that aliens visited her several times in the following decades. If you're still unsure whether to believe in aliens or not, here's another story for you. On November 5th, 1975, Travis Walton and his 6 colleagues witnessed a bright light in the forest as they were driving home in a truck. They decided to approach it to take a look. When they got within about 30 yards of the light, they stopped the truck because they realized it was a UFO about 20 feet in diameter and 8 feet high. At this point, Travis jumped out of the truck and headed towards the object. Everyone else in the truck shouted at him to come back. Then something resembling bluish light emerged from the flying saucer and struck Mr. Walton directly. He was slightly lifted off the ground and thrown back several feet.
What?
At that moment, the rest of the crew fled in terror. According to their calculations, about 15 to 20 minutes passed before they decided to return to where they had left their companion. But both the UFO and Travis had disappeared. They searched for him for about half an hour, but found nothing. Upon returning to town, they called the local deputy sheriff. The police decided to assemble a search party to find Walton at the scene of the incident. But there were no traces of either him or the disc-shaped object that, according to the man, had affected Travis. Polygraph tests showed that these men were indeed telling the truth. 5 days later, a man called one of the friends. A low, scratchy voice on the line said, "This is Travis. I'm in a phone booth at the gas station, and I need help." He was wearing the same clothes as at the time of his disappearance, unshaven and noticeably thinner. It took Travis some time to tell his story. The first thing he remembered after the forest incident was waking up and thinking he might be in a hospital. 3 figures were standing around him. He realized they were not humans. He described them as objects less than 5 feet tall, with large dark eyes, large heads, and small facial features, such as tiny nostrils and ears. Seeing that he was ready to resist, 3 of the aliens left the room, so he decided it was the best time to find a way to escape. Travis got up and headed for the exit, hearing a noise. To his surprise, it was not one of the aliens, but a tall man in a blue suit with something like a helmet with a glass face instead of a head. The man grabbed him by the hand and gestured for him to follow. They walked down 2 corridors to a room where 3 more people were in similar blue suits. Frightened, the Earthling asked them what was going on and if they could help him, but the creatures remained silent. Instead, they led him to a table and covered his face with something resembling an oxygen mask. After that, Travis woke up near the gas station and saw the disc-shaped object flying away. Whether to believe the polygraph or the man who decided to take a break from family worries is up to you and your imagination. And here's an English woman, Hilary Porter, who was repeatedly abducted by aliens from the age of 5, leaving her body covered in bruises, scars, and scratches. She was first abducted while playing in a field near her home in Wales. There was tall grass, and as she ran through it, she suddenly encountered a horrific monster with scaly skin, black holes instead of a nose, and a small mouth. The creature grabbed the girl's hands and dragged her towards a steel disc nearby. There was a hole in the disc, and when the creature dragged her inside, there was something like an elevator with closing doors. The next thing Hilary remembered was being undressed and thrown onto a bed. Humanoids took a sharp instrument and pressed it against her body. After that, she lost consciousness. This happened in the late 1950s and was just the first abduction of many she remembered. However, she suspects that she was actually abducted even earlier. The thing is, she learned from her mother that between the ages of 2 and 4, she mysteriously disappeared in the yard. The girl was searched for, and each time she was soon found several kilometers from her home. In an unusual stupor, she was unable to answer questions about where she had been and what happened to her. Similarly, as an adult, Hilary repeatedly experienced strange sensations, but could not remember anything from her experiences. The only evidence that all this was real for her was lost time and incomprehensible marks on her body, such as scars, bruises, and scratches. There were even bloodstains on her clothes and sheets. Also, after each incident, She started experiencing headaches, nausea, and nosebleeds. Her abductions continued throughout her life, and she remembered many of them in her dreams. She explained that aliens communicate telepathically and can abduct people through walls and solid structures just by touching them. At one point, she was so upset by the aliens' activities that she left Wales and lived for several years without abductions. However, as soon as she returned, the abductions resumed, leading her to believe that she was drawn to Wales for some unknown reason. According to Hilary, among the aliens, the gray humanoids are just servants, and the reptilians are the higher beings. There are other types as well, but above them all is another race in hoods. Their eyes shine, and when they look at you, they penetrate your mind. They often abduct women to obtain eggs and genetic material for reproductive purposes. Hilary Porter currently works with groups of other abductees who have also experienced frightening experiences. She continues to insist that her story is true, and she defends other people who have been subjected to ridicule. Previous cases involved ordinary people, but here's an alien story involving a United Nations official. The alleged abduction of Linda Cortile in 1989, commonly referred to as Manhattan alien abduction or the Brooklyn Bridge incident, sparks much more controversy and even suspicion. What set Linda Cortile's case apart from other abduction claims was the alleged presence of witnesses, including 2 security service agents and an anonymous diplomat they purportedly protected. The incident occurred near the Brooklyn Bridge. The victim claimed that gray humanoids pulled her out of the bedroom window while her husband slept next to her. Ufologists' investigation into the Cortile case began in February 1991, when a letter signed by 2 security service agents was received. They witnessed Cortile with 3 strange figures floating through the apartment window and then being transferred onto a UFO. One of the guards felt guilty for not helping her and even had a nervous breakdown. A fuller picture began to emerge after Cortile agreed to undergo hypnosis. She recalled being paralyzed and seeing 3 non-humanoid gray figures with large heads floating in her bedroom. She couldn't call out to her husband, as the creatures instructed her to maintain silence in their language. She was pulled by a blue beam from the window of her 12th floor apartment. She levitated inside this beam with 3 other aliens until they reached a giant spaceship that opened up like a clamshell. Inside were lights, buttons, and a long table. Then she was forced to climb onto it. She began screaming in fear, but a humanoid covered her mouth with its hand. Cortile could remember little of what happened inside that ship, but she remembered some medical examinations they performed on her. 3 hours later, she unexpectedly found herself lying next to her husband, who was still asleep. Interestingly, she had a head X-ray, and the doctor found something strange stuck in her nose. Many ufology experts consider Cortile's story a definitely authentic case of alien abduction. However, there are skeptics who have compared this story to the science fiction novel Night Wolf, published on March 1st, 1989. But at the same time, there are 23 witnesses who saw the strangeness that night. In conclusion to the video, I want to remind you that we've encountered a remarkable and mysterious phenomenon: alien abductions. This enigmatic phenomenon raises many questions and forces us to reconsider our notion that our world is not so lonely after all. We all must remain vigilant and prepared for any unexpected events that may occur in our lives. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. Together, we can overcome any obstacles and uncover all the secrets of our amazing world. Thank you for your attention.